mark of the Electric State Review, guys. Get right into the action. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. aka Ryan680.
I'm Angela, that Kelly Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to us on our Alamo City Movie Talk page. And thank you for making us a part of your day. But let's get right to it. Angela, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about another Netflix film. We are talking about The Electric State. So it's an orphan teen hits the road with a mysterious robot to find her long-lost brother, teaming up with a smuggler and his wisecracking sidekick. So Ryan, kick us off. So I know we didn't really, I think maybe we saw maybe a short trailer for this one. But what were your thoughts going into this? And then, you know, after we watched the movie, do you think it lived up to your expectations?
I'm going to answer the last question first. I'm going to say, no, it did not live up to my expectations. But at the same time, at the same note, I do want to say, guys, currently on Rotten Tomatoes is 20%. I don't think it's that bad. It's bad, but I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's the most one of the lowest rating movies of the year. I would say no. There's definitely a little bit of charm there. There really is. I really enjoyed a lot of charm here, a lot of charm with the elements of the robots, certain voice actors that we will recognize. Of course, Woody Harrelson plays Mr. Peanut, I believe, which we were kind of like, it sounds like him. I mean, it sounded like somebody we knew. We just recognized the voice. You know what I'm talking about. And so, yeah, you know, this movie, it lacks that attachment that we usually get with character development. I feel like it lacks the attachment for us to connect with the movie in a way. I don't know. I know it's kind of weird to say, almost like in a sense to where like Pixar movies, we grew attached to them. Obviously, like Ratatouille and Toy Story, we grew attached. We care about these characters, and I feel like it's not enough depth to where like they make us care, and the risk is very fatal. But like in a bad way. Like it's not fatal by the characters, it's fatal that they don't give us the risk that we expect. It's just very predictable. A lot of things that feel very, very anticlimactic, and it just I'm very shocked at, because we looked at the budget as well too. I know we looked it up after the fact. You know, directed by the Russo brothers. Now, the Russo brothers, Anthony and Joe Russo, haven't had a good track record since leaving Marvel. They've done a few other movies, and I'm just like, wow, I can't believe it. It almost feels that they really did not direct, Avengers, the two Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. It just does not feel that way in my point of view. But this is set in the 90s. Of course, it focuses on the nostalgia of the missing brother. Millie Bobby Brown's in here along with Chris Pratt. We're going to recognize those two leads right away. And I have to say, Chris Pratt, we talked about it too. Chris Pratt's wig is so terrible. Yeah, we recognize another person. Yeah, it was just too bad. Like not in a good way. And of course, the other thing I want to question, of course, is the $320 million budget. Like, holy smokes. You mean to tell me this movie cost $320 million, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know where it went. I really don't. I mean, it went, I guess, all towards the CGI, not on the costumes, because the costumes were horrible. But anyways, Angela, what did you think of this movie and everything? Because I could go on and on about this film, but what did you think? Did it meet your expectations? Were you excited for it?
I was excited because I love Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah, we both love her. Yeah,
I mean, you know, ever since she started in Stranger Things and anything else she's been in, I personally love the Damsel movie, also on Netflix.
Yes, the Damsel. Yes.
I think she does great as a lead. I think she really carried a lot of this film, to be honest. Yeah, I agree. Maybe some of the costume choices, like Chris Pratt's hair. Yeah, maybe not the best. I do question also with that big of a budget, where did it go to? Because as much as the CGI was done pretty well, it wasn't these big epic battle scenes that required a lot of budget into it. Like there were some, and you'll see that what we're talking about, but it wasn't like this big cinematic experience that you would think that would go into. Like it's not like an Avatar movie, it's not like a Guardians movie, it's not a Marvel movie, so you question a little bit.
It's a Netflix movie,
which again, they have Netflix. Not to say knock on them, because they have some good movies that have come out, but it does make you question, like, where exactly did that go? I do think the story wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be. Like I said, as much as I loved Millie Bobby Brown, as much as depth that she could bring to her character, I do think There were some points in the story and the characters and their backstory that just didn't quite hit the mark for me.
Yeah.
I do agree. I didn't really necessarily love and root for these characters. I do think you do root for the robots. I think the robots had a lot of charm.
Of course.
Maybe more so than the human actors.
Which is fine.
Which is fine. But I loved the familiar faces and voices we hear. So like in addition to Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt, you get like Stanley Tucci, we get Ke Huy Quan, we get Giancarlo Esposito. Also like from the voicing you have Alan Tudyk, which he's a great voice actor.
But honestly, you're getting all these A-list actors and actresses,
and then Anthony
and
Mackie
the money,
too.
they cost money. And
so you hear a lot of these really, like you say, A-list actors.
Oh, you say Anthony Mackie too. So our Captain America.
Yeah, I think Brian Cox is also one of them.
Yeah.
But again, it's just, I don't think the A-list actors were enough to save this film. For me, I agree with you. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't any trash film by any means. But I did want it to be better.
Yeah.
I did want it to have a more compelling story, have a better flow for it. I think the big moments were a little bit, like you say, anticlimactic. So it did have definitely some problems. Not enough for me to like really dislike the film, but I just wished it was better. And I hope that even though we may not give it the highest rating, you still give it a chance, because I do feel like
I'm pretty sure people will.
It's on Netflix, it's on Netflix, so it's one of the new things on Netflix you can watch. And like I said, I would love to see if you agree with us or not, because again, it even for like a popcorn film, it just didn't have enough for me.
It lacks that emotional grasp that you have with your audience, and it's very underwhelming. It really is. It's a very underwhelming movie, and and I feel like too that it's very unmemorable, and I hate to say that, because it just feels like it is. Okay, I'm done. I'm just like, okay, all right, cool. But especially for that runtime too, you would think it'll be a little bit more entertaining in a sense, and
it's like how would I describe it? It's kind of like Ready Player One mixed with like District 9.
Yeah, but Ready Player One was a lot. I mean, those two movies are great though. You can't even that's like a knock on them. Those movies are great. That's what I'm saying. Like Ready Player One is focused on nostalgia. It focuses on much
very pop culture heavy.
Yeah, and but it has that same elements, I guess. That same, like, you put the device on and you put the, you kind of you get into the robots and everything. So like, yes, I understand that. But at the same time though, I kind of understand where the critics are coming from, because it also says that it lacks original content. But I get it. I mean, it's just like, hey, all I'm saying is that, this movie, I feel like it should have been a lot. I should have felt more emotional grasp toward the characters, or more. It should have impacted me more for a budget like that size. It should have impacted me way more. And I just felt underwhelmed, and I felt I felt like it was under storytelling. The dialogue, for one, the dialogue wasn't good. Like, I hated the dialogue. There's certain speeches, and I'm just like, what?
And not to knock on, like, Stanley Tucci, because I know I love seeing him he's mainly in, like, a protagonist role.
Yeah,
not to knock on him. I do see him as, I think I was telling Ryan off camera, he plays a very stoic character very well.
He wasn't even the problem, though.
Yeah, I think I agree. Maybe it was just some of the lines he was written to deliver. I just didn't think.
Well, no, for me, it's the whole story, the outcome of the story, where the movie flows into, and I'm just like, what? That's it? Like, very underwhelming.
I agree with you. It's a little underwhelming. I just wanted it to be better for what it was, considering the budget and the cast. So, not to knock on them, but I just didn't walk away with it loving this film.
Yeah, and another thing too, it lacked that sci-fi. It could have been a great sci-fi movie. The concepts of it is good. I love the idea of this. I the first act of this movie, when the introduction, I was like, okay, cool. Then when they really brought Chris Pratt into the story started unfolding. I was like, what? Like, none of this makes it didn't feel very much entertaining. Well, I'll say that. And nothing against Chris Pratt. It's mainly the story when it was unfolding, the characters, where they were going. And
the way it's written, I feel more for the robots than the actual human characters.
But see, that's not necessarily a bad thing because that's probably why it was written, you know?
Yeah, and novel. Like I said, for example, Chris Pratt has his sidekick. I felt more for the sidekick. I love the sidekick more than Chris Pratt's character. So not to knock on Chris Pratt, but maybe it's just the way it was written. But I think, like I said, it could have been a lot better. Did I hate it? No.
I didn't hate it.
I still would recommend it, though.
I mean, I'm gonna say this: if you have it's 2 hours. I mean, I'm saying if you have 2 hours, watch something else. I'm just saying that, and I'm saying, you know, it just I don't recommend it. But if you are a Millie Bobby Brown fan, if you're just a fan of her work, I do recommend it. But if you're not, and you're just like, oh, I don't know what to watch, don't watch this. Go watch other stuff on Netflix. I'll leave it at that. Trap is on Netflix right now. Go watch Trap. That's a better, entertaining movie. But anyways, going back to this ratings, 1 out of 10. Tell me the highest, Angela. What do you give this rating?
Because I like robot movies. I do. I like I said, I love the cast. The cast was great.
But see, you know, it's a good robot movie, and it talks about like stuff like that, you know. But I mean, there's so many great robot movies, right? We've seen films like with Hugh Jackman, Real Steel. I think that's what it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, the boxing one, right?
Yeah, the boxing one. You get, and he's not even like that, you know, personality wise. We go back to Robots, which is an animation film, has way more character driven stories and has more emotional grasp when there's no humans there. Another good one is iRobot with Will Smith and Shia LaBeouf. Dude, do not knock on that movie. That movie is so good, and it's actually such a great.
It was actually a really creepy concept.
Yeah,
you could rewatch it. Yeah, you could rewatch it in today's time, and it could be relevant.
It's still relevant. It's still because we're in the AI era, so it has that common sense and way, and it's very good. And so you really feel for the robot at the end, and you make us hate the robot at the beginning, and then at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, he ends up being a good guy. So it's just like, you know, you kind of see all that unveil and get revealed, and you're like shocked because like, what the heck? And then so you really get a sense to where the story gets thickens, and it's a risk, and you're just rooting for the person, and you're rooting for you. It's a shocker. It's an undeveloping breaking news kind of movie, and I love that a lot, and I love how it just really shocked me when I first saw that movie. But anyways,
I agree.
And so, you know, going back to this and everything, there's so many good robot movies out there. I'm trying to think of another good one, but
I like them all. So again,
what was your rating?
Like I said, I didn't love it. I wished it had met my expectations a little bit more. So I would say I still enjoyed it, though. I did. I would give it like a 6 because.
Oh wow, that's way more than I thought you would.
Because I really liked it. I liked. You know, it had problems. Not going to say it didn't, but I liked it for what it was, and it entertained me. Yeah. I liked like the sci-fi robot stuff. Like that's very interesting to me. Yeah. So I just wanted it to be better. Okay. But yeah, a 6 is going to be where I'm standing.
I'm going to give it a solid 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10, just because it lacked story-driven character arcs. I'm a sucker for a good story. I'm a sucker for an underdog story where something happens where like it's unpredictable and it's a shocker. And even more so, I'm a sucker for. I love Millie Bobby Brown. I love her character arc. She has so many good character arcs. She's so many good movies out there. The Sherlock Holmes
is so good. Yeah, that Nola Holmes.
Nola Holmes. Yeah, Sherlock Holmes is Henry Cavill.
Seen, but I said I've
seen the first one. I haven't seen the second one.
I love her in anything she does. Like I said, and even from Netflix, the Damsel movie. Great.
Yeah, I support her 100%, and I can't wait to see her to do better movies. I really can't wait. And I don't know.
She has a promising future.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Of course.
I'm excited for her. But anyways, all right, guys. The question is for you guys. What did y'all think? Let us know in comments down below. What did you guys think of the Electric State? Let us know. As always, I am your host, Ryan D. You can know Ryan680.
I'm Angela, that Kelly Ange.
This is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. And I guess we could give it. We kind of recommend it, kind of don't. I don't know. We'll talk on the comments.
Take it with what you will. Like I said, given all of our feedback, if you like the genre, if you like the cast, and you're just interested in seeing it, give it a chance. If not, if you're kind of on the fence, you're not sure, it's not really in your wheelhouse, if you will, maybe find something else. There's great television and movies this month, and all these different, subscription channels, and if you don't force yourself. So again, just take with what we say with a grain of salt. Maybe you'll love it, and maybe you won't. So just let us know.
All right, guys. See you at the movies. Latest.